Thank you. Didn't understand a word of that, but thank you for making me so welcome to Prague. I know that I'm in a very important conference when we're speaking about dog poo, because this is a major issue affecting children in play spaces, but perhaps we will come to this afternoon. This morning, Mirjana has asked me to speak a bit about play strategies and the role that governments can play to support play. Because England was one of the first countries to have a national play strategy adopted by its government. So that's what I'm going to speak about a little bit today. So the background is that in 2008, the government in the UK decided that it would have a play strategy. The UK is actually made up of 4 countries. So there is England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales that come together in the UK government. But Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland now have their own parliaments as well, and the Scottish Parliament is responsible for play in Scotland, similar in Wales and Northern Ireland. So the UK play strategy really applied to England only, as this was because England does not have its own parliament, it is just treated as part of the UK. So in 2008, partly in response to the financial crisis and the idea that we needed to invest a lot of money to boost the economy again, the Labour government decided that they would have a strategy for play and that they would build thousands of new play spaces across the UK. It was a major programme, and part of the programme was to establish Play England as a national play organisation to support that programme. There were many strengths of the programme. It showed what could be done. We produced a lot of guidance during that time, so we produced publications like our design guidance, Design for Play. We also did a lot of work on risk in play and produced the design guidance Managing Risk in Play Provision, which we will speak more about this afternoon. Play for a Change was another piece of literature that we produced, which covers, it's an academic literature review that looks at all the different benefits and results of play in children. So a wide range of publications produced, and those remain on the Play England website, and I think are still very much used as a tool both in England and more widely internationally now. There were challenges, though, with this big government strategy. One of the challenges was we were under pressure to deliver it very, very fast. We were told, you do this in 2 years, 3 years, you build thousands of play spaces very quickly. And this was a big problem and a big challenge. We ran out of items of play equipment. You couldn't buy them at that time. We made mistakes as well. We imposed our vision on the local authorities, on the municipalities, and said, this is what you have to do. And we didn't really win hearts and minds. So I think it would have been better to go more slowly and to persuade, because when the money ran out, those who were not persuaded went back to the old ways. There was a big emphasis on capital funding. This is funding for new things. This is for building new things. And that was what the government wanted. The government wanted lots of lovely new play spaces with its name on it and a big sign saying, vote Labour at the general election. So this is what we did. There was nearly no money for looking after things, what we call revenue funding. And actually, revenue funding, in my view, is more important, because if we can't look after these play spaces, if we can't look after sand and water and equipment, then it will be taken out. And that's exactly what's happened to many of the play spaces that were built at that time in the UK. But the biggest problem for us as well, and this is to do with not winning hearts and minds, was the money ended when the government changed. And so when we switched from a Labour government to the coalition government in the UK, that was it, the end. What has emerged, though, after that in the last 10 years is 10 years ago, England was at the front of this saying, look at us, we are leading in the UK. Of course, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland did not like this very much. There is history here. And in the last 10 years, the other three have come to the fore, and now they lead the UK, and they support England to come along behind. In Wales, Miriana has referred to the legislation that the Welsh Government has passed. It's called Play Sufficiency. It's based on the UN General Comment 17 that is linked with the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. And the idea of the legislation is that municipalities have a legal responsibility to ensure that there is enough play opportunity and provision in their area. So they have to carry out reviews, they have to assess, and they have to be constantly thinking about how they can improve the opportunity for play in their area. And so this is a very powerful piece of legislation, and I think also the first in the world. Scotland as well, Play Scotland is leading in many ways on play development in the UK. They work very closely with public health and with the National Health Service in the UK. They work with planners, with early years practitioners, they're doing a lot of very interesting work on all aspects of play in Scotland. Northern Ireland, the focus has been mainly on training professionals, training the people who work with children in play. Also very interesting work, though. And play is not dead in England either, despite the lack of support from government. A number of the English cities, like Prague, are recognising the importance of children in those cities and the importance of play. So in London now, the new mayor, Sadiq Khan, is developing planning guidance, which has a big section on how you provide for play in housing and new housing estates. In Hackney, the municipality where I work, the borough has decided that it wishes to be the first child-friendly borough in London, so it's working towards that aim. Also in a neighbouring borough, Islington, a Fair Futures Commission has been carried out to engage with children, to consult with them, to see what they want for their life in the city. Leeds, a city in the north of England, is one of the first UK cities that is aiming to be a child-friendly city. They also have done a big engagement with children to find out children's wishes, and they now have 12 children's wishes, and every policy that they make and developments they make, they ask, how does this fulfill children's wishes for our city? And so again, very powerful steps to make the city more child-friendly for children. Bristol, a city in the west of England, is doing similarly. It launched a children's charter over the summer, which has play as two of its aims. And there are other London boroughs that are adopting play strategies and looking at how they can improve their public realm, their parks, their public spaces, despite the lack of support from the UK government. Where these policies and government and municipalities initiatives are working, in my view, it's where there is strong partnerships, where the municipality is working very closely with NGOs, with children and families themselves, and everybody is supporting this and moving in the same direction. Advocacy, I think, is a key part of that, and advocates from outside of government, advocates like the people in this room today. Our voices are really important to support this going through, and a policy on its own will not work. A policy will only work if there are people pushing it forward. In Hackney, where I work now, we don't have a play strategy, but what we have is we have play included in many different strategies. So play is part of our health strategy, it's part of our transport strategy, it's part of our children's services strategy. And for me, I think this is better when play is included in many strategies, and the overall strategic aim is to improve the lives of children, not just play, everything for children. I think strategies need to focus, obviously, on children's needs, but one of the things that is driving these cities that are adopting children and play strategies is not just the health and well-being and the obesity agenda, it's also the economic value and the economic benefits. Cities like London now, young families don't want to live there anymore, so they're leaving. And London is starting to realise this is a problem. we're losing talented, creative people. We need to make London a place where families want to live. So there is a very strong economic argument that is behind some of these new strategies in the UK that are coming forward despite the government's position on austerity. But above all, really, particularly in Hackney, play is something that we promote as being fun. It's fun and enjoyable for children, and we invite the mayor and the leaders of the council to come and play with us, and to have their photo taken, and to do some skipping, and to join a play street or an adventure playground. And what they think now is, this is a vote winner. This is nice. This is better than dog poo and holes in the road. And so play is a vote winner. And that is our most powerful tool in taking forward these campaigns and strategies for better play space for children.
So, thank you very much.